Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's doing well out there. My name is Thomas Taylor III, coming to you live once again from Lawrenceville, Georgia. So I want to say, thank you to a lot of individuals. We had a awesome, graduation celebration yesterday for my daughter. So there was a lot of people that were took some time out, just to kind of celebrate with us. But before I get into that, I want to take a moment and wish our wishful master of our lodge a happy birthday. Mr. Bobby Kilpatrick, just want to say, hey, happy birthday. I've known Bobby for, wishful master for a short period of time, but it just feels like I've known him for, all my life almost, man. He's a, great guy doing a lot of great things in the community. So happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Yep, so yesterday again, we did a little celebration yesterday for my daughter for graduating from college. As you can see, we had, a lot of family and friends over. I really call them all family, you guys, because I said yesterday that sometimes, in this thing we call life, individuals that are around you don't necessarily have to have the same blood running through their veins to be considered family, right? So inside of that, I just want to say, a huge thank you to Wendell Bird and the Bird family, Sharice and Jasani for coming over here, doing the floral arrangements, man, and helping out, and Pat Olden for doing the decorations, my man Eric with the table and chairs. It just takes a lot of people to get something like this done, like to pull off an event. And that's kind of the vein that I want to talk about this morning. I'm trying to be brief. Had a late night. So, but what I want to talk about is, are you building the proper team around you? Why? Because that's very significant. Because they always say that your network determines your net worth, right? So some of you guys out there that's listening, you may want to start a business, or you actually started a business, right? Are you building the proper people around you, right? Individuals that will go the extra mile, individuals that will lift you up when you're not so sure you made the right decision, right? Because, going into business or doing something different than the norm is tough enough, because you have to first convince yourself. And that's the hardest person to convince. But once you convince yourself, there are going to be all types of people around you questioning that decision, right? So, hey, don't take it personal. Really, the universe is really just trying to test you to see, hey, how bad do you really want what you say you want? So again, the question is, are you building the proper people, right? The proper team around you, right? So lately, I've been talking about, they call it the 80-20 rule. It's called the Paretos Rule. If you haven't heard about it, you actually can look it up. And kind of, if you Google it, just kind of Google 80-20. And it's called the 80-20 rule. And what it says is, in all different things, right? Whether it be your church, whether it be your work, lodge, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, a cookout, just anything where a large number of people are going to be gathered, you can watch. And those that, manage people, the reason why it's called the 80-20 rule, because 20% of the people will get 80% of the work done, right? I'm going to say it again. 20% of the people will get 80% of the work done, right? Now, you don't put yourself in a position where you say, hey, you down 80%, because 80% are 80% for a reason, and they're necessary, right? Because they make up the whole. Then there's 20%, right? So you say, Thomas, so who are 20%? 20% are those who go the extra mile, those who do a little bit more. I tell my partners all the time, right, that it's so easy to beat the masses. And they say, well, why is that, Thomas? Right? And I'm going to give you guys a secret sauce. So easy to beat the masses. People, why? First thing you got to do is show up. Why? Because most people won't, right? Most people won't. So if you show up, you beat half the people already. Because when you get out of bed and do that thing that you don't want to do, most people are not going to get out of bed to do it. So when you show up, hey, yep, present, you beat half the people. The second thing is just do a little bit more. Why is that, Thomas? Because most people will do just enough. They'll get right to this line and they will not cross that line, right? You know them at work, right? So maybe you work from 7:30 to 4, something like that. At 4:01, they out the door, right? It doesn't make them a bad person, right? But in different things, right, they won't do more. So why is that important? That's important because in business and when you're building a team, you have to be able to identify those individuals, right? So a good friend of mine, Mr. Kareem Diop, I always call him Kareem Best, that's why I'm laughing. Kareem Diop, in our lodge, he did, let's say, a lecture the other night, and it was awesome, man. So shout outs to Kareem, man. Great job, my brother, man. He's like my younger brother, right? But he did let's say like a lecture in our lodge, and he went from being in the crowd, right, the crowd of my lodge brothers, to being in the top 5% who actually can run that lecture. The top 5% out of 100 brothers, right? Why is that? Because he just applied himself. He just did a little bit more, right? So again, when you're building a team, understand the individuals that you have around you, right? So here's a mistake some people make. Because you see somebody and because you see that they do, certain things, we categorize them as let's say a to Z person, right? So this person, John, Mike, Mary, we say to ourselves, they're maybe they're a friend or they're in our network, they're an A to Z person, not realizing that their strengths are from A to, let's say, D, right? So you got to understand the people around you, their strengths and weaknesses, right? They ebbs and their flows. Well, why is that important? That's important because when you allow individuals to operate inside of their strengths, right? And sometimes I categorize strength equivalent to our gifts. Things that we do naturally, things that we do if nobody asked us to do it. If they didn't ask us to do it, we would do it anyway, right? Because we love to do it. That's inside of our strength. So when you have individuals on your team, right, and you understand what their strengths are, and you allow them to operate in that lane, now what you start to do is you start to create and build solid building blocks for your business, right? So sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find individuals who like to do certain things that you may need people to do on your team. But if you start to think about that, when you start to build your team, what happens is it starts to insulate and secure the longevity of whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? So on this Sunday morning, June 12th, it's very vital, everyone, that you have the right individuals around you. Now, why is that important? Because sometimes, unfortunately, and I'm going to say it, there are some negative people out there, right? Like, you may have somebody around you and they may say something crazy, say something negative, and you just look at them like, are you for real? Like, that's how you really feel? And you shocked and you dismayed. Like, I can't believe it. But hey, there's some negative people around you because sometimes individuals want to bring their past into your future. Now, be mindful of that. Now, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person, right? They may have had bad experiences, but sometimes people cannot unravel their experiences to who they are. So when they marry those two, you hear it come out of their mouth, right? And then if you play back to them what they said, they might be surprised themselves. first they might argue with you like, nah, I didn't say that. And then you let them know, or you press play, and they be like, wow. Because sometimes people just say things, unconsciously, right? So on this Sunday morning, right, I wish for Master's birthday, I really want you guys to drill down on the people that you have around you, right, in terms of your team. Because as you start to expand, what will happen is the universe will make sure that there's the pull, right, the gravity, the pull to you. The universe will pull the proper people. Wow, say that a few times. The proper people in your path to make sure that where you say you want to go is insulated. And that's very important, because as you move, when you build a solid foundation, again, now you have a greater chance for longevity, right? Again, I always give my man a shout out, one of my lodge brothers, Brother Warwick, man. He has grown man embroidery business, right? He's killing it, right? Probably like in his third year, a couple of machines, getting more and more contracts. Why? Because he had the right people. He had the proper people around him to insulate him in the beginning, to make sure he has a solid foundation, and then he has a chance for longevity, right? Like, he's doing enormous things in the community. If you guys get a chance, check him out. Grown Man Business Embroidery, man. He'll take care of, whatever embroidery, hats, shirts, jackets, whatever you need. So again, I just want to kind of come on here this morning. It's been a late night. We did some celebration. My daughter, Monasia Taylor, graduated from BSc College in psychology degree, Bachelor of Science. So it's a very proud moment. I talked about that last week. Just kind of taking a moment, pausing to celebrate the things that you accomplish and those that are around you. Take some time to celebrate. Why? Again, because it's based upon a reward system, right? So now this morning, I'm just kind of building upon that, and so I'm saying, hey, as you move, as you create, as we build, just be mindful of the team that you're utilizing, or the people around you that you're using to build, right? I want you to start taking inventory, right? Again, I talked about Paretos Rule, 80-20, right? Know who the 20%ers are around you, and know who the 80%ers are around you, especially if you have a team already, right? Identify them, right? Don't crucify them. Just identify those individuals, right? You kind of, work less with the 80%ers and work more with the 20%ers, right? Because 20%ers, they push and they strive to be 10%ers, then 5%ers, right? Then 2%ers, then 1%ers, right? If you look at Eric Thomas has a whole program. What is it called? Called the 1%ers, right? Just think about that, just the 1%ers. But hey, you guys, I could go on and on, but on this Sunday morning, I just want to come on here, just, encourage somebody, right? Because whatever it is that you're doing out there, and you're facing a little bit of opposition, it's okay, because that's a part of the journey, right? The universe is just saying and testing, say, hey, Mike, John, Mary, Fred, how bad do you want that thing that you say you want? And you say, oh, yeah, I want it. But that's lip service. So you're going to get tested. And that's what's happening to you guys, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a test. And the test has not come to stay long, right? Somewhere in that book we read, it talks about joy, right? What does it say? It says joy comes in the morning, right? So no matter how long night is, joy is coming in the morning. But hey, that's my time. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. Wherever you are, hopefully it's beautiful. We're out here in Atlanta, so it's a beautiful day. You hear the birds chirping. I just want you to go out there, take some inventory, right, on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and the individuals around you. And if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out. All my social media information is on my website. It's tailoryourdreams.com. Until then, go out there and make it a great day. Happy birthday, Wishful Master. Talk to you guys soon.